As another year comes to an end, I thought it'd be fitting to pick up my top 10 sets. Now, like most of us, I struggle with the time, space and budget for some of the larger sets released this year, so by ignoring my backlog and to keep it fair, I'll only be including sets that I've actually built in my collection. I suppose you could say this is a budget friendly top 10 list for 2023, as none of these sets go over the £100 threshold. So, in no particular order, my first choice is the TIE Bomber. After a 20-year gap between releases, we finally received a new and updated version. With well over double the pieces, it's definitely a worthy upgrade. This time round we were treated with 4 minifigures, 3 of which are exclusive to this set. This is the cheapest way to purchase this Darth Vader minifigure, which also appeared in the Emperor's Throne Room this year. We've also got this great looking pilot minifigure, as well as Vice Admiral Stallone's LEGO debut. And finally, this Imperial Gonk droid makes clever use of this printed Imperial crate. I was really pleased with the overall size. I think this smaller scale doesn't really lose any defining details or traits. With a snug cockpit for the pilot, a printed window piece, 2 tucked away stud shooters, and the ability to drop out 4 bombs, this is a really fun playset for Star Wars fans. And keeping with the Star Wars theme, next up we have the New Republic E-Wing versus Shin Hati's Starfighter. I flat out love this set. You're getting 2 solid, great size builds in one box, which is awesome. 5 really cool minifigures, which are currently all exclusive to this set. Captain Porter and his droid match each other really well, and the bad guys look superb, especially the 2 standout characters of the Ahsoka show, Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, although it's a shame we didn't get capes for both of them. The E-Wing looks so fresh and crisp with the blue popping off the white, while the dark red and yellow design to the Starfighter is a refreshing use of colour in the LEGO Star Wars universe. The E-Wing can fit the pilot along with his droid, as well as having storage space under the seat for a blaster. My favourite feature though are these 3 retractable landing gears. I would have lost my mind as a kid to have this feature on a LEGO model. I love the Spitfire-like design for Shin Hati's Starfighter with these front heavy wings and central intake. It's a really sleek design that's so easy to hold and swish around. And just like the E-Wing, there's clever storage with room for a lightsaber at the rear, a cockpit for the pilot, and under these removable cannons there's 2 storage compartments, where you can store a blaster at the bottom and even place Baylan on the next level and close it all up. All in all, this is an incredible set, but I will give a shout out to the Mandalorian Fang Fighter versus TIE Interceptor. As both of these sets share the same concept by including 2 solid builds and some nice minifigures, I almost chose this set instead. However, I felt the Fang Fighter was slightly underwhelming in comparison to the TIE Interceptor, whereas both the E-Wing and Shin Hati's Starfighter are very good builds, making for a much better set overall. While the Fang Fighter doesn't spin as seen in the show, but at least LEGO did try and mimic the design on top and underneath, unlike the T6 Jedi Shuttle. And it's worth mentioning there isn't a single sticker on the TIE Interceptor or Fang Fighter, so that's always a plus. Either way, both of these sets come in just under £100, which does make them equal bargains in my eyes, even more so if you manage to purchase them while they're on sale. I really hope LEGO do more of these double ship sets. And my final choice from the Star Wars theme is the Executor Super Star Destroyer. This isn't the first time we've seen this ship in LEGO form, with the previous version being the massive UCS set from 2011, and over 10 years later we have this much more affordable and space friendly design. In a similar way to the TIE Bomber, this compact design works really well as it doesn't really miss any iconic details at this scale. You have all the engines represented at the rear and some great greebling along the middle section, leading right up to the command bridge. The angles are captured perfectly, and the inclusion of 2 Star Destroyers helps give the main build a better sense of imposing scale. The stand really brings it all together with a really smart finish and elevates it as a great display model, with the printed anniversary brick and the name tile. A minifigure would have been great, but it doesn't bother me all that much. That's the first 3 sets. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me so far, or have I missed off a great Star Wars set this year. Let's continue, and staying with scaled down sets, we have the Land Rover Classic Defender. This may seem like an odd choice, but if like me you don't want to fork out over £200 for the Land Rover Classic Defender 90, then this is a much more affordable and space friendly way to own this iconic classic British vehicle. The recognisable shape and design are faithfully captured even at this smaller scale. The look at the front is great with the bonnet shaping, 2 printed tiles with a sticker grille in the middle, and even both wing mirrors. With the roof rack, rear lights and a spare tyre, side windows with rear storage and space for the minifigure, this is a really great wallet friendly set, and that's why I love it. And now on to the smallest set on this list, the Arctic Explorer Snowmobile. Sometimes it really is the simple things in life that are the best, and this little snowmobile ticks all the boxes for me, especially when it comes to nostalgia. As a kid, I loved the Arctic sets from the city theme, but as an adult, I've always spent more time with other themes. I really liked the look of the Explorer sets this year, so I thought what better time to scratch that nostalgic itch than now. We have this female explorer who is so full of life with 2 great facial expressions, some bright orange snow gear, a blue backpack, and this dual moulded hat hairpiece. Or she can wear this helmet instead. There's this nice little ice build with 2 wonderful moulds for these seals and even a fish for their lunch. The Snowmobile is built really well for some all-terrain exploring with moving skis and tracks. There's even 2 clips at the back to attach the camera, which I think is a simple yet brilliant inclusion. We're now up to the halfway point through the list. Next up we have the Hulkbuster, the Battle of Wakanda. I know we've had our fair share of Hulkbusters over the years, and especially after the lukewarm reception for the UCS Hulkbuster, I was glad to have the best playset version we've ever had. It's a really solid build which can be posed in a handful of different ways, and like some of the previous sets on this list, the smaller scale doesn't take anything away from the design. Everything is here when you think of the Hulkbuster. The colours pop off really nicely, you've got the arc reactor in the centre, moving fingers and toes, and space to place Bruce Banner inside under this printed dome. You've even got enough minifigures to play out a small scene from the Battle of Wakanda, and the alternative angry face on Bruce is great. Next up, we have 2 sets from Jurassic Park with Dilophosaurus Ambush and Triceratops Research. We've had the odd set here and there over the last few years for the original Jurassic Park film, but for its 30th anniversary, LEGO celebrated in style with 5 sets. I chose the Dilophosaurus Ambush because it recreates such an iconic scene so well at such a great price. The build for the Jeep Wrangler is brilliant with the soft top to the rear and mud coloured pieces used throughout the set. These stickers help give some iconic details, and there's even muddy minifigure footprints on each step. The side build has everything it needs from the vegetation, the printed Barbasol canister, a white frog as the foam, and a removable e-stock sign complete with a rotating arrow. The dinosaur mould is great, and the Dennis Nedry minifigure is perfect with his yellow raincoat, and the 2 facial expressions capture his character so well. I know the price for the Triceratops Research set was a bit steep considering the piece count, but most of these sets suffer from higher prices due to the plastic dinosaur moulds. However, I felt like I needed to include this set, as similar to the Dilophosaurus Ambush, it recreates an iconic scene so well. The only thing missing is the inclusion of a park ranger. Apart from that, it's a really fun set and a great display piece, even with the pile of poo. We've had a full Explorer before in the T-Rex Breakout, but this is currently the cheapest way to own this iconic vehicle, and for your completionists, it's a different numbered Explorer. The trademark colours pop off with the red and green clashing, and just like the Jeep Wrangler, it's a really great build. Every detail of the vehicle is here, the roof window with lights, beige interior with the site map, ball bars at the front and stickers used throughout for the paintwork, and you can store the poisonous berries inside the poo, and the frog joke is seen again, this time in brown. The moulded dinosaur is awesome with some movement to its head, and the minifigures for Ellie Sattler and Ian Malcolm are 2 really great inclusions. Moving on from Jurassic Park to another iconic franchise, Indiana Jones and the Fighter Plane Chase. After 15 years since the original LEGO sets, we had 3 new sets based on the classic films to help promote the Dial of Destiny. I love the figures in this set, they all look great, Indy in his suit and tie, Henry Jones looking all dapper, and the pilot with his classic goggles. The 3 builds bring this iconic scene all together, minus the tunnel of course, but it is hinted at with this burning signpost with this warning triangle on the top. The car could be a set all by itself, as could the plane, which is nice to see as LEGO won't make war-based sets, but they will do for fictional films, which is great to see. The plane is a solid build with a few much needed stickers here and there for the camouflage, as well as a spinning propeller, opening cockpit and stud shooters on the 2 removable wings. If you pop them off, you can recreate the scene when the plane drives through the tunnel after losing its wings, flames included. Back to the car, and it may as well be a vintage Speed Champion set. Although the doors don't open, there's room for both our heroes and some clever storage space at the rear for a trunk and Henry's suitcase. Overall, I really love this set. However, I will give a shout out to Escape from the Lost Tomb. As for an extra £5, you can get 600 pieces all together and 4 minifigures, which is almost unheard of value for a licensed theme these days. This in itself is a great display piece and a fun playset, with falling statues and walls, spooky booby traps and plenty of snakes. In the end, I decided to choose the Fighter Plane Chase as I personally have a soft spot for the Last Crusade film. And my final choice is the Up House. A long awaited set finally became a reality this year for the Disney 100 celebrations with the Up House. I know the main complaint was the size, but I honestly think you've got everything you need here to faithfully capture the bright, colourful and charming features from this wonderful film. With 3 instantly recognisable characters, 4 if you include the squirrel, the iconic house and quirky little side build, you've got most things a fan could wish for. Carl and Russell look great, particularly Russell's Wilderness Explorer badges and his overloaded rucksack, while his single mould for Doug is perfect. A small piece of garden is included. The white picket fence complete with these balloons looks really good. I especially like the canister inflating this red balloon. I will say it's such a shame though we didn't have Carl and Ellie's handprints on the postbox. The main build looks super with these banister details around the porch, the hosepipe on the front and shingles on the roof. There are some really clever designs here to achieve plenty of different shapes with the bay window, adjoining roof valleys and even this little dormer popping out from the roof. The balloons coming out from the chimney act like the cherry on the cake, and to be honest I think there's probably enough of them as they were a little bit repetitive to build. Now there are a lot of stickers, but I think they're warranted as they capture so many references from the film. A few of my favourites include the door with multiple latches, the My Adventure book and the living room photo frames. There's even a printed Paradise Falls money jar in the living room. So there we have my top 10 favourite sets that I've built this year. Let me know in the comments below if you have any of these sets and do you agree with my choices, or would you have picked something completely different? I'd love to know. If you enjoyed this video then please consider liking and subscribing to the channel to keep up with any new and exciting content. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and extra thanks if you've watched any of my other videos this year. I've really enjoyed my first year on YouTube and I can't wait to get stuck into more LEGO fun in 2024. Thanks and see you all soon.